Bom, estamos de volta com o terceiro bloco deste primeiro programa Boas Histórias, com a nossa convidada internacional, Farah Chamma. Well, next time you come, we'll make it a series, okay?
We'll make a series, definitely. A novella.
Okay. You know, I would like to approach many other topics, but due to time restrictions, I'll have to go into the topic I cherish the most, which is poetry. Poetry is an outlet for the way you see the world and the influences it has on you, right?
Of course.
So it's a way to find peace, maybe.
Maybe, or war.
Or war, okay. And it's funny because we were talking here. You live in a part of the world where peace and war are a constant matter. So tell me, what is peace for you?
What is peace for me? Well, I can answer with an easy answer. It's a piece
I
of...
don't want an easy answer.
You don't want an easy answer?
No.
Well, I'm just gonna try. Well, peace for me is definitely peace of mind. You should know how to deal with anything that happens in the world with a peace of mind in order to have peace in a way or another. To me, I'm 19. I still haven't been engaged in the world. I'm still studying. I'm still getting knowledge. I still don't know what peace is, how to, arrive at peace in the political world or in this war, peace, conflict that we have. So to me, now, peace is a peace of mind, is concentration on studies, on my goals. So this is what peace is to me, and this is what I'm working on, slowly, for me to arrive at something bigger.
And well, it's not a matter of denial here, but you are in a region. Well, Syria is too close, right?
Syria, yes.
What's happening there now and what's been happening, not to mention the Palestinian issue. How does that affect you? Does it create any anguish?
Of course. I've been feeling like the whole Arab world is falling apart. This is how you feel. It's something, on the TV. It's always bad news. This is how I feel. But I always ask myself, what do I want my role to be? Okay, I can feel sad and sit in the corner and say, oh, the Arab world is horrible, and leave the Arab world and go live in the West, where it's calm, where I can get maybe a better education, a more state of stability. But I always ask myself, what do I want my role to be? Now, as a student, I have to learn. I have to read. I have to get all the knowledge. I'm still very young.
How does TV, the media, portray the Arab Spring? I mean, it is inevitable that somehow the media filters that information. The word is mediate. So this mediation, how do you feel that in terms of what's happening in that part of the world?
Well, you have different channels. I watch English, French, Arabic channels, and you find big differences in the way things are portrayed, definitely. But in general, I try to look at all different sides, and then I try to get all these and use them in poetry. Since our session is about poetry now, I'm gonna answer all the questions based on that. So all the observations I have been doing about the Arab Spring, all the conflicts, I'm trying to gather my own thoughts about them and write about them. This is what I've been doing.
Well, I was trying to push you into that, but I just felt like stirring it up a little before, in terms of feeling. So before we get into the poetry itself, I want to ask you, what moves you?
So whenever I write a poem, you ask me what moves you. Whenever I write a poem, I always think of the audience, and I always think of myself in front of these audience talking about something. I can write a love poem. It's easy to write a love poem, and I can write it beautifully. But I always rather...
You have to be in love to write it?
Not necessarily. The mind is very vast. You
can fake love in your mind.
You can fake everything in your mind, which is wonderful. So as I was saying, I always think of the audience and think of, topics that I think would touch, would provoke conversation, discussions. And this is how I write. I always imagine myself in front of an audience and start speaking to them before writing things down.
I know you were talking before about which poem would you tell us, would you declaim? And because of the way we conducted our talk, I guess I would go for the Palestinian one.
Okay, let me get into the poetry mood. Okay. I am no Palestinian. I am no courageous, fearless, valorous, gallant, proud, adventurous, selfless patriot. I am a soul in exile, expressing my thoughts in all languages but mine. Hi, I am Palestinian. Salut, je suis palestinienne. Oi, eu sou Palestina. I cut my mother tongue in half. نصبت المبتدأ لعنت أبو الخبر. كسرت الضمة التي ضمت ما بيننا. Palestinian poet Rafif Ziadeh was right when she said, "Allow me to speak my Arab tongue before they occupy my language as well." Allow me to speak my Arab tongue before they occupy my language as well. Well, to that I must add, allow me to be the Arab that I am. Allow me my right to learn, to travel, to pray. Allow me to walk through any foreign streets without having to feel this shame, without having to think twice about my clothes, my face, my name, or the visa. Or the goddamn visa I had to work day and night for to claim. Because at the end of the day, I am not the one to blame. I am not the one to blame for Bin Laden or 9/11 and all your other schemes and games. I am just a soul in exile. I am in no hall of fame. I have to opt to be someone I am not, just to fit in your frame. Despite the agony I went through, despite the struggles I overcame, despite the diplomas, the degrees, the awards I acclaim, I am still no Palestinian. I am still no Palestinian. No matter how many I love Palestine stickers I stick on my car. No matter how many times I cry over Gaza and argue over the Israeli settlements. No matter how many times I curse the Zionists, blame the media, and swear at all the Arab leaders, I am no Palestinian. Even if I memorize the names of all the Palestinian cities. Even if I recite Mahmoud Darwish's poetry and draw Handala on my walls, and even as I sit here tonight in front of you all, I am no Palestinian, أنا مش فلسطينية, and I might never ever be, and that's exactly what makes the Palestinian in me.
Pretty good. The audience is moved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Farah.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Este foi o Boas Histórias. Até mais.